closer to some machinery.
So, yeah, it's
Or wide the beds that way.
This is a 500-bedded facility. It's configured over 8 halls of different sizes. So some halls have 30 beds, some have 50, and some have slightly more than that. It's quite a sprawling site, so it's different to some of the other Nightingales in terms of its design and the way that it's laid out. And when operational, it'll be able to treat up to 500 critically ill patients who need support if they've got respiratory disease, having had COVID-19. Our plan is to make sure that the most sick critical care patients remain in their local hospitals, and we will take a subset of patients who need either non-invasive ventilation or mechanical ventilation, who are slightly more stable and therefore can be appropriately cared for safely in this specialist facility. Success for us, we always said, was that we would never need to use the hospital. We know that if it is needed, it can provide really safe and effective care to patients and their families if needed. But success to us in many respects will be that we don't ever need to treat patients here.
If there's a need to bring patients here into the hospital, then we've got the facilities that you would find in a critical care unit, but obviously on a much larger scale. So patients would be on a ventilator or requiring support with their breathing, such as CPAP or non-invasive ventilation. So this hospital has been built in 20 days. So it was actually completed within 10 days, but then it's taken us another 10 days both to stock it and acquire the equipment to put into it, but also to train staff to come and work here. And those staff will be coming from hospitals across Yorkshire and Humber. It's an important backup facility, it's an insurance policy. We at the moment don't need it, but we don't know what's going to happen further down the line when the lockdown is lifted or when winter approaches. I don't know how long the facility will remain open, but we will be ready when we are needed.
We wouldn't have lots of stock of personal protective equipment here at the moment on site because we don't have patients, and the important bit is to make sure that our colleagues in trusts who are dealing with patients with COVID-19 have got the right personal protective equipment. When we do become operational, that's part of our activation plan to make sure that staff coming to work here have got the right personal protective equipment.